All right, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Robin. I'm a grad student at SUNY Cortland, and I am pursuing my master's in therapeutic recreation. Thank you all again for joining us for today's activity. It's going to be called the Leisure Time Machine, and it's going to be having us talk about the power of reminiscence. So, y'all should have, in terms of your resources, y'all should have some printouts or access to them via email. I sent them over to you guys, the life satisfaction scale, and then the leisure time machine workout. And just make sure y'all have like pens or pencils, obviously for you guys to write with. I'm going to start our timer too, so I can make sure I stay keeping this on track here. All right. So some goals for today's session is, like I mentioned, this is a reminiscence activity. So it's to bring awareness to life satisfaction through the power of reminiscence and storytelling. Some of our objectives will be to identify 5 memories of positive leisure experiences using our senses, which we're going to put that on our worksheet, which I'll explain in a little bit. We're also going to compare pre and post activity scores using the life satisfaction scale. And then second goal is going to be, we're going to try to strengthen socialization, communication, and our overall family dynamics through learning about each other's past leisure interests. So one of the objectives for that goal is, obviously, I asked you guys to bring a beloved item from a past leisure activity for our show and tell warm-up activity. And then we're also at the very end, after we complete the worksheet, I'm going to see if you guys might share one of your 5 leisure memories with the group and what sense evoked that memory. So that can kind of help children discover their parents' past leisure pursuits that you might not have known about. And then parents maybe realize activities that had a lasting impact on their children. So to just get us started, we're just gonna, before we dive into our main activity, I'm gonna have each of you grab that survey, that life satisfaction survey. You should have 2 copies. So just go ahead and fill out one of those copies. It's just 5 questions. So on a scale of 1 to 7, 1 being strongly disagree and 7 being strongly agree. So the first question, in most ways, my life is close to my ideal. The condition of my life, conditions of my life are excellent. I'm satisfied with my life. So far, I have gotten the important things I want in life. And if I could live my life over, I would change almost nothing. Okay. Don't overthink this. There's no right or wrong answers. Just fill them out. No one else has to see this. This is internal to you. So once you just fill it out, just place it face down. And off to the side, you'll be done with it till like after the session's over. So
I have a question.
yeah, go ahead.
Well, the conditions, are you talking about like food on the table, roof over your head, that type of conditions that you're living under?
Whatever, I would say, whatever that means to you. Yeah.
Okay. And same thing, I'm guessing with the important things on the,
Yeah, what you feel in your life as in
is
terms of
important.
important. Everybody, obviously, what some people feel is important for you might not be what's important for someone else, you know? Okay, it looks like most of y'all have finished that. I see. Okay. All right. Well, now we've completed our first survey. We're going to kind of dive into our warm-up activity. So now it's time to get to know each other a little bit better with our show and tell. So please get out that leisure item you were asked to bring with you. We're going to go around the room and I just want y'all to introduce yourselves and then tell the group what that leisure item was used for what activity, why it's important to you. And just try to keep it brief. We don't need like, a 10-minute storytelling session. But if one of y'all forgot to bring your item, that's totally fine. You can still have a turn in telling the group about the item that you would have brought. So for example, I'm just going to go ahead. I can go first to start us off. So again, my name is Robin Womack. Can y'all all see me? Because my little video doesn't show me. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is an item from my past. This is my T-ball hat when I played on the Astros. This was from my first organized sport. I think I was maybe 4 or 5 years old. I have really awesome memories with this of my dad teaching me how to play catch and learning to hit a ball off a tee and hitting home runs. And I think this probably was the catalyst for me playing sports for the next 30 years. So yeah, this is my leisure item. Who else would like to go next? Don't all jump out at once. I can call on y'all if you want. Kristen's waving. She wants to go next.
Okay. So, my name's Kristen Strickland, and the item that I brought is this disc. It's from August 8th, 2015, and it represents a really fun time when I was playing disc golf competitively, and it was my first advanced women champion win, and it has that on the. So it was a really fun turning point where I was having a lot of fun winning some tournaments.
That's awesome. That's a fun one. I like the print on the disc. What's it called? What was the tournament called?
It was Dynamic Discs Sweaty Swings. It was in the middle of August 8th. It was in 2 rounds, in August in Texas is brutal. So it was very hot. So it has a little boy sweating to death on it.
Oh God. Okay.
I
That
was
is
wondering what that was.
fantastic
Yeah.
item.
Yeah.
Kristen, thank you so much for sharing that. Who would like to go next?
Come on, Carol.
Well, I figured Kristen and Thomas should
We're
go.
panning over. It's Thomas is going.
Oh, okay.
Hello, name is Thomas Strickland, and my item this is actually a trophy, but while I was in the Marine Corps, I had now gotten, this is 2003, so I went in 99 to '09 and finally made it out there to San Diego. Funny story is I wasn't going to re-enlist because there was only one job that I wanted, and it was in San Diego, and there's only 12 Marines that work at this location, and then there were 14 Marines that worked at the Pentagon, and they said that there weren't any spots available, and I still had a little eligibility, and since I'd played football for the Marine Corps, I was getting actively recruited out of the Marine Corps to go and play football. And then I used up all my leave and had all my medical, everything was done. I was ready to get out. And 2 days before I got out, they said, "Hey, do you still want to re-enlist?" And I said, "Well, is there a spot in San Diego available?" They said, "Yeah, there is." So I ended up out in San Diego. And by that time, into your second tour, you get overrunning. You don't want to run anymore. And you get more into lifting weights. And by that time, we had got into powerlifting. And so it was a really wonderful hobby that, transitioned over from being an athlete in high school and then college. But we got serious into powerlifting. And this was the biggest event on the entire base that you could win. And finally, the last time that I competed in it, I won it. The funny thing is, on this story, it was after I had my knee surgery. I had complete ACL repair and meniscus repaired. So I did the bench press contest with one leg. So my leg was still in a brace.
Wow.
And if you ever bench press, you know that you use your feet a lot. But I think it was kind of a blessing because leading all the way up to that, I just developed really, really good techniques. And it was a great, fun activity and hobby. And it's certainly something that I miss and played a big role and part in my life at that time. And another funny story is by the time I got medically retired, my staff NCO called me in and he wrote me up for things that had happened 8, 9, 10 months ago that he didn't bother with writing me up. And one of them was this guy that was my powerlifting partner, which is incredibly strong guy. We started this. He started a t-shirt company, and it all started from this idea. We had these crimson red shirts, and on the front it said WAR, just like the Marine Corps does, USMC, big bright yellow. And we could not keep them in stock. Anyway, this guy went on to he eventually sold the company, and the guy that bought the company became a multi-millionaire from selling t-shirts. But it was WAR, Weightlifters Against Running, and my staff NCO wrote me up for that, for improper civilian attire, because we would wear that to the gym all the time.
That's hilarious.
And every time everybody would see us, we would just sell all these t-shirts, sold it. And I wish he would have kept it, because he would have became a millionaire. Because it's kind of during that genre, 2002 to 2012, when the t-shirts, all these custom, kind of funny sayings, and before there was a meme, they were on shirts. So yeah, it was a good time, and
That's awesome.
I miss it. Look forward to it. Hopefully I get back in the gym here sooner
It
or
sounds
later.
like y'all are from a family of I guess athletes. So yeah, you got some disc golfers and power lifters, and that's terrific. Well, thank you, Thomas, for sharing. Who I think we have two more. I think, all right, Carolyn's waving.
Okay. I used to, way back in the day when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Introduce yourself, Mom.
Oh, I'm sorry. Carolyn Womack. Anyway, I used to ride for the Imperial Riding School up in Fort Worth, and specifically for Wishing Well Farms. And when I entered my first hunter jumper, because I used to do equestrian English and also Western riding, and on my first horse show, I won first place. So that is my memory, and I'll never forget that. It was awesome, and I wish I could still ride, but I'm 72, and unfortunately, I'm not as agile as I used to be.
That's okay, but we can still think about all the fun things we
That's
used to
right.
do. All right, so our final show and teller.
Yes, my name's Wayne Womack, and I've got a lot of past things that I've done, Robin.
Keep it
So
short.
I had to pick one. So I've been involved with hunting and fishing, and so all my life. And as a result of that, back even in junior high, I started before that got into taxidermy. So been doing taxidermy about 60 years, and I just like grabbed a couple things. I think you can see there's a small bear that I got in Maine that I mounted, and but I thought would be appropriate if I bought, the diller in. So we have a Texas armadillo that triggers a memory that, God, 40 years ago, he was digging up my front yard and I could never get him. And I had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning because he would be gone by daylight. And there he was digging. And I had my fish net, and I ran him down and dove and got him in the fish net. And I'm like, this is a pretty good diller. I think I'll mount him. And so he's been a doorstop in my office for many decades. So pretty
All right.
cool. I've done all levels of taxidermy, and used to do competition. And so now it's just kind of like a past memory that I go to at times. So anyway, just thought I'd share that with you.
Well, that is fun and unique for sure. Well, those are fantastic items for show and tell, everybody. Thank y'all for sharing. Now that we've got to kind of know each other a little bit better, I'm going to take us through our main activity. So So we are going to dive kind of further into our past leisure experiences with this. So through the power of reminiscence, we're going to kind of use mindfulness to relive some more positive leisure memories, focusing on good times that brought us joy. So try not to focus on any bad memories so much. But we're hunting the good stuff, right? We're hunting the joyful memories. So leisure can mean many things for different people, though. So for some, leisure might be a quiet activity you've done, like bird watching, or a more unstructured like rec activity, like hiking with a friend, or maybe like a high intensity sport, like Thomas competing in powerlifting or equestrian or disc golf. So as you go through this activity, there's no right or wrong type of leisure activity. Just enjoy reflecting on your own past unique experiences. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of read the content of the activity description. If y'all went ahead and get out your worksheet, you can. It's the leisure activity worksheet. So playful fun seems to come so naturally to us when we are children. As we grow older, our fun seems to take a back seat as we take on adult responsibilities like education, maintaining a household, building a career, a family. So even if you manage to fit leisure pursuits into your very busy schedule, many of us are unable to continue doing those activities long term for various reasons. So perhaps it's due to injuries or illness or advancing age, or maybe you moved and your new community doesn't have access to facilities you need, or the friends who you once recreated with are no longer around. So for whatever reason that we hung up our cleats, it doesn't mean we have to fully leave behind those activities that we once enjoyed. So who wouldn't want to go back in time and relive the good old days, right? So for this activity, we will travel to the past using our senses to help us recall positive memories tied to our leisure, recreation, and sports pursuits. So our senses have very powerful way of eliciting certain responses. So for instance, when you think of your sense of hearing, it might bring to mind the sound of a baseball cracking off of a wooden bat, and it reminds you of going to baseball games with your dad, you know? So reflecting on these happy past times can allow our brain to think that you're still there, so you can reap the same joyful benefits. So reminiscing about past leisure activity loves can provide us obviously with healthy benefits by just recalling in our mind those positive feelings that we once experienced from these activities. It's known that happy people obviously are healthy. So for our own sake, we're going to take a virtual trip down memory lane. So like I said, grab your worksheets, and the worksheet, I'm going to pull out mine. It has 5 major senses listed on there with little boxes to the right. So next to each box, you are going to write a brief description of the memory that sense provokes. So I want y'all to recall 5 different memories. So 1 memory for each sense. All right. And if y'all need help kind of thinking of stuff, each little box has an icon example next to it. So you have like a soda bottle for taste, and pizza corresponds, or a soda bottle for taste and pizza for smell. So when you have a memory that comes to mind from any particular sense, you're going to write it down in as much detail as you can, right? So if you hear, for sound, for hearing, let's say that you think of the first concert you attended, all right? Don't just simply write down concert, okay? I want you to describe the concert atmosphere, the location, how old you were, the friends you went with, why you went, the band that was playing. So kind of give us some more details, all right? Really dive into that memory. So we're going to go through each sense one by one. You're going to get roughly 2 to 3 minutes for each sense to kind of focus your mind, recall a memory, and write down any details. So for the first one, we're going to start on focusing on the sense of touch. So if you would like to close your eyes, you can. Try to think back to the earliest memory you can when you had a significant texture that you encountered during a leisure activity. So what did that texture feel like? Was it rough? Was it fluffy? Was it smooth? Was it coarse? Was it brittle? So once you kind of come to that memory, just write down whatever details come to mind. And because I just got a notification, not to distract you guys, that we are running short on time, I'm gonna probably make it a 2-minute for each block instead of 3. So you'll have about 30 seconds left for this little block. And like I said, just write down what you can. It doesn't have to be every single detail. All right, and if you have kind of finished wrapping up touch, you can move on to taste. So a memory that might remind you of something that tasted sweet or sour or salty or even savory. And if you would like to move on to hearing, so something that again reminded you of like a maybe a loud noise or a soft noise, an echo. And once you're done wrapping up hearing, you can kind of move on to smell. A past leisure memory that might have evoked a musty smell or a sweet smell or something that's earthy or fruity. And whenever y'all are ready to move on to that final sense of sight, anything that might have evoked a memory that might have been a vibrant leisure memory, something that was shiny, sparkly, maybe how the sun reflected off the water, just something that you can recall visually from a leisure memory. So we have y'all go ahead and keep writing. So I'm just gonna kind of talk while y'all are wrapping up that last one. But once everyone has kind of completed that last box, we're gonna have everybody, or really anyone that would like to share with the group their favorite memory of the 5 that they recalled and what sense it provoked. Try to keep it brief because I have literally 5 minutes left on this recording.
Brady, I already did all mine.
Okay. Yeah, Mom, if you'd like to share, I might just have 2 of you guys share instead of everybody. That way I can try to get us to the end.
My touch is grooming the horse
Mhm.
before I saddle him up and get him ready for an event. I love the smell of the horse, the feel of him on my hands, braiding his mane and tail. I just loved everything about the stable and getting him prepared for it. I mean, the warmth of the horse as you're running your hands over him, you can feel him. He was excited to go out there and compete. And I just loved everything about it.
That's great. Like the details of description for that touch is fantastic. Thank you. Is there anyone
Yeah.
else that anyone else wants to share a sense?
Yeah, I'll share. Touch too is every time I pick up a baseball bat, it takes me back to 1970. I played baseball like Robin, a T-ball all the way, through high school and then 14 years competitive softball after college. And bottom line is when I pick up a bat, it takes me back to 1970 when I was lucky enough to be on a all-star team in Houston that we played through the summer and made it all the way, won the Southern Division of the United States, and got to go up to the Colt League World Series and played in Indiana there and took third in the world. And so it's really funny when I get a bat, it's just like I go right back to that
That
memory.
memory. That's
Yeah,
fantastic. I mean, that is the power of reminiscence. That is a great positive memory to have. That's
yeah.
awesome. So I'm gonna have so for our final portion of today's activity, y'all should have that second blank survey. Normally we'd get to go around and we'd get to share more and kind of talk about, more about this. And there's a couple debriefing activity questions I'm going to run through while y'all are filling out that survey. But just go ahead and fill out the satisfaction survey again. Don't look at your first scores. Just fill it out, the second one now. And once you've completed it, then you can flip over your initial survey and see if your satisfaction with life scores has improved after reminiscing on your past leisure memories. And just something that I want y'all to kind of take away as we kind of wrap this up, some of the things that y'all can kind of think about, leave you guys with is what senses were maybe the easiest to recall a leisure memory from? And maybe what sense was most difficult for you? And maybe think about why that was. What have you learned about the benefits of reminiscence therapy? Did it have any effects on your satisfaction with life score? Which you'll find out here shortly. And then really going forward, what could you do to continue practicing reminiscence? How can you savor sensations during present leisure pursuits to help you draw on during future reminiscence sessions? So we have about a little over a minute left. So now that you have relived positive leisure memories through your senses, I hope that it's helped you realize that reminiscing is a simple and free, very free way for you to elicit positive emotions whenever you need a boost of joy. So real quick, how many of y'all's satisfaction scores improved? Did anyone's scores improve? Show of hands. Mom say the same. Did anyone's get worse? All right, I'll take that. So we're maintaining or improving. So that's fantastic, guys. Thank y'all so much for your time. Does anyone have any questions? We have about 30 seconds or so left. If anyone has any questions about today's activity.
No, great job.
Yeah,
Real quick, what was
excellent.
Kristen's and Thomas's memory on the taste thing or the leisure at time machine?
Yeah, but honestly, if y'all want, I mean, I think that we'll get kicked off, but I would like to know theirs later on. But for the sake of this, I'll cut off the recording, and I would still love to hear Kristen and Thomas's memory if y'all want to jump back on the Zoom. So once we get kicked off. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Y'all were fantastic.
Great job, Robin.
Have a good rest
Thank
of your
you.
day.
Very
Okay.
interesting.